Hello, everybody. I'm back. Welcome to my struggle bus. Well, it's my own fault, really. Oh, welcome to Thursday night's Minutes with Milo show, the struggle bus edition. So, a lot of my nights are struggle buses. Like I was saying, it's my fault. Got kind of a late start, and I was rushing. Anyway, we're here. It's a show. And it took a minute. I'm a little bit late, but not more than usual. So anyway, all right. So I didn't do a show last week. That's fine. I had other things going on, and probably what I should have done tonight instead of rushing around. But anyway, I didn't get one last week. I get one this week. Everything's A-OK because today is what? Today's my Friday. And supposedly the weatherman's calling for another snow. And really, I don't mind the snow. I like to have a couple of good snows. But what I don't like is the below 30s, frigid temperatures, the wind chills, all that kind of stuff. My hands are all chapped up. I got a silly cardboard cut. I was going to say paper cut, but it's cardboard. Does the same thing. Busted a bunch of boxes down. But, part of the reason is because the skin's so dry. It's so fragile. So fragile. But, uh-oh, are we even going out? Hold on a minute. I got the YouTuber up, but I didn't tune in my channel. Oh, I hope it's going out. If it isn't, I'm just shutting this thing down and going to go do something else. Let's see. Let's get over here. It says it's live. We'll click on that live button. It says it's, there it is. Is it live? Is it? I hear it. It's struggling. There it is. It's on the struggle bus too, but is it live? There it goes. Okay, we're out there. Good deal. So, not last week, the one before that, I did the marketplace mayhem. Apparently nobody else enjoys it. I enjoy the whiz out of it. It's just so funny. But tonight we're going to get back into when people, smart people, think they know better than nature. All right. Now I know I've discussed this once or twice before on the show about scientists, politicians, do-gooders, whatever you want to, whoever it is. They see a problem that's usually caused by people, and then they try to fix it, and then they do something crazy, like I'm going to use this as an example, but there's so many wild cats in Australia that they have a bounty on them. And this episode is about cats. But believe it or not, I'm told by Gemini and Grok that this one turned out A-OK. So it involves cats. It involves a man-made problem that then some smarter fellas and gals tried to figure out how to fix. Maybe this time they fixed it. All right. So this little caper is known as the Operation Cat Drop. Yeah, Operation Cat Drop. And according to Gemini and Grok, because I've double checked these people, things, chats, whatever against each other, was a there's your word, quasi-military operation to help villages in Borneo, Spain. Is it Borneo in Spain? Or is it just Borneo? uh, out of a predicament. Okay, so the story starts out uh, in the early 50s, 1950s. The great and almighty World Health Organization launched a mission in Borneo to do what? Eliminate malaria. A well-intentioned, goal. Let's just do away with that because people have been plagued for centuries with malaria, but we're smart. We can figure this out. We can get rid of it. We're the World Health Organization. So what did they do? Well, it's the 50s. All right. And what better stuff to kill insects? And the malaria is transmitted, I won't say 100% because I'm not 100% sure, largely by mosquitoes. Those friendly little fellows that fly around in the summertime and just love to give you those ankle-biting kisses. So, simple problem, right? Get rid of the mosquitoes. Well. In the 1950s and 60s, man, they had some good stuff in the jug called DDT. And it pretty much killed anything that fly or swam or buzzed around or whatever. Kill them all. So, they sprayed the DDT across the island. Garthog, what's up? Welcome to the show. We're just getting into it because I was riding a struggle bus this evening. And we was a little late. Got stopped by a couple of red lights, hit the curb a few times, but I made it. So we're talking about the 1950s cat caper, the famous Operation Cat Drop. And I was just explaining, yeah, I was just explaining how smart the World Health Organization was even back then. It's unbelievable how they've kept themselves so smart over these decades. Anyway, sprayed the islands with DDT. All right. They did one thing. They killed mosquitoes. Yay! But you know what? The mosquitoes didn't absorb or eat or drink all the DDT that was sprayed. What? Them stupid mosquitoes. Okay. So what happened was a chain reaction like almost all these things where people believe they're smarter than nature. So, chain reaction. Mosquitoes start dying off. But now, the mosquitoes are eaten by what? Waspers. Wasps eat mosquitoes. Other little things eat mosquitoes. But when the wasps started dying, thatch-eating caterpillars started to thrive. Now, this was another prey. This was a prey for the wasps used to eat, are these little caterpillar things. Well, why did they call them thatch-eating caterpillars? They could have called them anything else, but that's what they like to eat is thatch. Namely, the thatch on the roofs of the Borneo villagers' huts. So the caterpillars are running amok, eating the roofs off the huts. What happened to the huts? They started to fall down because apparently thatch is the thatch that held them together. All right. So, what did eat the caterpillars? Geckos, lizards, all these other little creepy crawly critters that run along the ground. Well, what did the DDT that killed the mosquitoes, that killed the wasps, that killed the caterpillars, killed the geckos? It's a gift that keeps on giving. It's like the herpes. All right. So, the geckos, they started dying off. And of course, they're poison. So then what happened? What eats geckos? This is a long story. The kittens, the cats in the village, would chase down and eat the little geckos, and guess what? Guess what started to die then? Yep, cats. Cats started to die in the villages. Well, now some people would say, good riddance, not a total loss. What's the problem? Well, what did other besides geckos did the cats eat, do you think? The rodents, some are bigger and some are bigger. Rats, mice. Well, without the cats there to eat them, they run amok. This whole thing's running amok. Thank you, World Health Organization. So, the rat population explodes. And guess what rats carry? They don't carry malaria like them nasty old mosquitoes. They carry like plagues and bad things. Not just things, Okay, malaria is bad, but plagues wiping out lots of people. So the rats began destroying crops and started to spread plagues like typhus. Excuse me. Chain reactions, man. Whenever they feel like they're smarter than nature, look out because here it comes. Well, what did they decide to do? Here we go. Operation Cat Drop. Why? I don't know. Why didn't they just put them on a canoe and paddle them to Borneo? I don't know. But anyway, so to fix a rat problem, I don't know who they are, accidentally created, okay, the World Health Organization, there we go, joined up with the Royal Air Force and organized the Great Operation Cat Drop. I want to say the Great Cat Drop, but it was known as the Operation Cat Drop because everything is an operation. Cats were rounded up mostly from Singapore and placed in special perforated baskets. Now, if you listen to Grok, they were like wicker baskets, woven, which makes sense. 1950s, Singapore, we got lots of wicker baskets around to stuff some cats into them. Okay? The Royal Air Force flew them over the remote regions of Sarawak, Borneo, and attached to the wicker baskets were parachutes. Now, these parachutes are reportedly made of like rice paper, but don't worry, no cats were harmed in the dropping of cats and whisker basket. Yeah, that's the ticket. Whisker baskets with rice paper parachutes. Now I can't say they were all 100% because I'm sure nobody was keeping track of the poor kid. So they parachuted cats into the jungle, and apparently they didn't feed them supper because the first thing they do when they hit the ground is start hunting. You go cats. So they started hunting. Basically, they replenished the cat population that had been depleted because they were eating poison geckos that were poisoned by the DDT, and that they ate the thing that ate the DDT that ate the thing that ate the thing before DDT. So here we go. So the cat successfully landed and went to work to help restore the ecological balance by bringing the rat population back under control. So eventually, I'm sure that wasn't the end of the story because everything else had to catch up. So here's a question that, I guess you'd have to dig into it deep. But how long of a span did it take from when they sprayed the DDT until the rats really started, taking over? I mean, you would think it wouldn't happen overnight. I mean, the mosquitoes didn't die off overnight. The wasps didn't die overnight. So, you know, weeks, months, I don't know. And it's the same thing when they probably put the cats in there. Cats just didn't drop down and eat, 500 rats, however many they were supposedly overrunning the villages with. It takes time. So, you know, DDT slowly escalates into heavy rat population. And I think what saved them here was they just replenished the cat population. So I'm giving them credit here. They figured out a common denominator and said, we can't restore the wasps. We can't, destroy or restore the mosquitoes because that was what we were there for to begin with. They just went up the food chain and said, hey, we've got a few kitten cats running around. We can just do that. So they did. But there reportedly was 14,000 cats dropped. That's not true. Great story modern. Let's see how many they actually did. Actual records from the 1960 drop. Okay. So they dropped the cats in 1960. Wow. How long did they spray the DDT? Because it says in the early 50s, the World Health Organization, now early 50s, it could have been 52, 53, 54, I don't know. That's when they launched the mission in Borneo to eliminate malaria, and they started spraying the DDT. In 1960, they did the cat drop to try to bring things around. So, I read a little further, answered my own little question. Let's just say 7 years. All this cycle took place in like 7 years because it said early 50s. I'm going to pick 53. They dropped the cats in 60. My public education math said 7 years. That's 7 years. All right, so wait a minute. Actual records from the 1960 drop mention a much smaller battalion of 20 to 30 cats. I mean, that's a lot, to drop on a population just overnight or over a course of a couple of weeks. 30 cats. Now, these weren't, I don't think, island wide. I don't know how big an island Borneo is, and I should because that's where, most of the, modern Survivor episode or seasons are, filmed. So maybe they were just in select islands because Borneo is like I guess, what you call a chain or a series of islands. So yeah, 20 to 30 cats. Let's see. Today, the story is used in almost every system thinking or ecological 101 class to teach that you can't change one part of the complex environment without affecting everything else. And they should have realized that, as many times as they've tried something by introducing a new species into an area for pets or vermin control or to rid themselves of, something else, they, always end up, okay. In Australia, example, they introduced rabbits to do something, and the rabbits ran wild, and then they introduced the cats to catch the rabbits, and now the cats are running wild. So, kind of weird. Kind of weird. Let's see. Gemini Operation Cat Drop. See if Gemini can find us just an actual picture or something. It's thinking right now. All right, you got to see this. All right, a minute. I've got to respond to Gemini here. I'm asking it to find more images. I found several more historical images and illustrations related to Operation Cat Drop in Borneo. Here are a few more to give you a better look at how it was documented. Okay, I'm going to show you this. May the heavens help us if AI is running the world. It's got to be, it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be better than what we're currently working with, what I'm currently working with. Maybe, I don't know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, because, some people keep coming back for punishment. AI is dumb. Okay. So here's some images, historical images and illustrations related to Operation Cat Drop in Borneo. All right. So this thing here. And I saw this with Grok when I was first. Can you see this critter here? That's a beaver. That is a beaver. Okay, so the text says Adams and crew Jelston Chucking Sibia Channing over 20 cats to wage war on rats which are threatening crops and houses. They were eating the roofs off the houses. But that's a beaver, people. That's a beaver. Okay. So this one, I don't know. It's a cat's life. Airborne felines fight war against rats. In 1960, 23 unsuspecting cats found themselves being airdropped into Borneo, Sarawak, as part of the rat busting operation. March 17, 1960, somewhat unusual. It rained only cats, 23 cats to be precise. The cats, together with 7,000 pounds of equipment and supplies, were parachuted by the Royal Air Force into Barrio and Kelbit Highlands in Sarawak from a height of 400 feet. All right. After 5 test runs over the drop zone, the cats were dropped off via giant Beverly transport plane. The Straits Times reported that hundreds of excited Kelibits on the ground watched the big operation, and it took more than an hour. So there's your picture, I hope, of the village. This is probably taken, what, 6 weeks ago? 2014. All right. Barrio is a remote hamlet in the Quebec Highlands deep in the interior of Sarawak. In 1960, Barrio's rice crops were plagued with an infestation of rats. Their call for help was answered by Chucking Something's capital. So here, it's also known, Chucking is also known as the City of Cats, and that's in 2019. There you go. I don't know. A month after the army of cats from heaven were released, the Quebec sent Cushing another message. Thanks for the cats. No more trouble with rats or mice. Okay. In December 1953, the Royal Air Force delivered a cat to the men at Fort the Gap in Perka. The cat was sent down in a specially padded box along with the rations to deal with rats that had been eating the rations. It's not clear if the cat was parachuted for the Gap, so they're talking about another one that used a cat to kill the rats that DDT made. Let's see what this, we're on this again. There's the style of airplane they used to parachute the cats out of. What was this document? All right, paratroop cats defeated by frontline rats. 5 cats airdropped into a frontline position of the 3rd Royal Air Force Southeast here type. I don't know. I can't really. That's kind of hard to read. But here's the first picture it showed me. I said, find me images of the Operation Cat Drop. What is it? No, cancel that. Here are some of the things. Cats and the geckos making a cat sick. Oh, mice doing push-ups on the trap. And there's the beaver action again. I don't know. You can't make it up. This is what it found me when I asked it to find me images of Operation Cat Drop. Okay. So this was pretty good. I actually like this picture better. And this was part of my struggle bus tonight. I did the research like I almost always do, very last minute. I asked Gemini, almost like I've been lately doing, hey, generate me a good thumbnail for my YouTube channel. So I'm going to do a show on this tonight. And I found out a couple of weeks ago, you got to tell it, I need the right resolution and I need the correct size, because if you notice, some of my thumbnails they're not framed properly, and that's because the size is different and I try to resize them. It never comes out right, so on and so forth. So I told it, and it knows. It tells me what the right size is. It tells me the resolution. And it tells me that YouTube has a maximum size of 2 megabytes for the thumbnail image. So I get the first one. It's getting close to time. I'm wanting to put the thing together, get my, broadcast scheduled, get on YouTube, send out some, hey, I'm getting ready to have the show, notifications and stuff. I go to upload the cat thumbnail, and it's too large. It's just too big. So I look at its properties, it's 2.7 megabytes. So I tell Gemini, it's too big and the resolution's too much. You need to, shrink it down. And it does. And I go to upload the second image. It's still too big. And then I said, the resolution or the size is bigger than 2 megabytes. And this is what it tells me. To be completely honest with you, as an AI, I don't have a scale to weigh the file before I send it to you. The system generates high-quality images that are often 3 to 5 megabytes because they are packed with detail. If you're getting a file too large area from YouTube, it's likely because the file is too high resolution. And I already told it that it was too big, the resolution was too much, to tone it down. Since I can't turn down the file size on my end, I can only change the resolution and detail. Here's the quickest 10-second fix, so you can actually use the art we made. So, what I ended up having to do, just FYI, I took the .png file, I right-click on it in my folder, and I say I want to edit it, and that brings it up in Paint. Then in Paint, you can go to say that you want to resize it, click on Pixels, and you tell it the size you want it to be, and you say click, and Paint shrinks it down to that size. But there's no guarantee it's going to be under the 2 megabyte limit. But I saved it as a JPEG, .jgep, right there, JPEG, which is a different compression for the image, and it made it the file size I could use. Uploaded that. It's a good picture. It's just this attitude that Gemini gave me when I told it I wanted the one that was the correct resolution and the correct size. Now, then it gives me, to be completely honest with you, I don't have a scale to weigh the file before I send it to you. I'm telling you, AI is going to be in charge. We better go back to Stone Age when we just, let the dinosaurs roll around and be in charge. But anyway, this was kind of a turn of events where humans screwed something up, and in their attempt to fix it, I assume they fixed it, because both Gemini and Grok say it turned out A-OK. And that one city is now known as the City of Cats. So good for them. But most of the time, it just stays screwed up. You spray DDT to kill something, and it just blows the whole place to smithereens. Don't get out there and muck around. That's what worries me about all this genetic engineered stuff and they've been doing it for years, genetic engineered rice or corn or potatoes or whatever to increase the yields and the size and the drought tolerances and all that stuff. They're going to screw us up royal one day. Royally. If you don't believe me, go watch I Am Legend. I like that movie. It was about the research to rid the world of cancer, and it made zombies instead. Very violent, very hungry, very aggressive zombies. Not like the Night of the Living Dead. These were like fully functional, high IQ, savages. But I liked it. So anyway, go check it out if you haven't seen it. I Am Legend. Will Smith. All right. So that was a pretty quick show tonight, 33 minutes. And would they do something like that today? Parachute cats in? Probably not. That's probably a good thing. Why did they do it that way? I guess because it was remote villages. They didn't want to tote them in on donkey back. I don't know. The World Health Organization called in some favors and got the RAF. Hey, you been here, Roberto? I didn't see you. You never said anything, but thanks for stopping by. See you later. Getting ready to wrap it up this evening. So anyway, let this be a lesson to you. Don't mess with Mother Nature. It's not nice to try to fool Mother Nature because it's not butter. Was it chiffon? Anyway, look up the commercial. It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. All right. That's it for this evening. Robert Garthok, I appreciate you coming by. And if you made it this far in this short episode broadcast show tonight, like, subscribe to the channel, send me a comment, tell your friends and neighbors, your folks, your relatives. Tell your cat to watch the show. Maybe they'll find it interesting. All right, let me get my screen back up so you can end the night by seeing my pretty face in my, what did Robert call my hat? I done forgot, dumpling hat or something like that. Anyway, it's my Christmas present and I like it. All right, everybody. Thanks again. See you next time. Thursdays at 9. I got another video I'm going to put out on the channel. So it's another little project I did in the garage. It's all about nuts and bolts. So tune in, see that.